Okay, you know what it is. It's your boy Kamal Hart on the chart. We're going bar by bar, same as always. There was a lot of price action today, so I want to be thorough, want to be detailed, but it's going to take a lot of time. So I'll try to talk about all of my trading mistakes today in detail and a little bit of some other things I see for the big scale. But yeah, I'm going to keep it moving. So 5:30 pulls up. I actually didn't even start trading until like 6:40 today. So I kind of had a late start. Um, we have this downtrend. It's two legs to the outside. Kind of looks like we're starting to make that leg down. So to these lows, we just had that second entry ring off, but that's not a good signal bar, and the trigger bar is too big. So we still got to wait. There's a swing high, so there might be like some lower high, failed second entry long type trades coming up. Just barely makes a new high, almost a failed break higher. And you're getting this higher low, but you see how sideways we are right there. And then you get, uh, since prices are moving higher, still this is almost the breakout pullback because we did have kind of this sideways movement in here, and then it moved lower, went higher. So we already have kind of like something like this. So we're not going for this short yet. But once we cross over and pass up a previous swing, really I'm just still looking at this range. Something like here. Really, that's pretty much what I see. So that's not even a breakout. I thought this would be outside the range, but it's not. So really, we're just kind of have a range fade. It's the lower high. Here's the like failed second entry short or failed second entry long. So we go short right there. It's a little sideways though, a little aggressive going short there. I think you maybe have one tick. It's probably on the middle, on the midline. Yeah, it's pretty much just right above that midline. You might risk that. It's pretty sideways though, so it's really aggressive. Just get that set up. That one shoots off. Don't know it's going to do all that, but now that it is doing that, our targets are going to be the lows, and then we're also going to have a target. If this happens to be leg one, probably leg two starts somewhere over here. So then there's a target way down there. Um, that this target I don't think is going to be very relevant though, but at least to the lows or something, that's a more relevant target. Got these low touches already. So you kind of get that swing. Prices went sideways for a couple bars. Um, Technically, this broke higher than this swing, so this could be a new high. So that's a higher low. There could be another short right there, but I don't want to go short this close to the lows. Too aggressive. There it goes. And then you get another turn down, but this was maybe an entry. This one really isn't an entry. Breakout pullback, I guess, but it's just a first entry to that low. So what we can say we got now is we got that breakout pullback right here. So it broke outside, moved to a new low, and now there's at least just a micro trend going to the bull side. Doesn't really catch much momentum, and it seems like it's going to fail. There's the higher low. Sorry, it's not a higher low. It's the lower high. Um, so right now it's a little tough. You can see we're getting some support at these lows. There's a lot of like bearish momentum though. What we want to see is maybe we'll get one more break above that fails. Take that short. Like here, if this fails, you might be interested in going short there. I don't think it gave you enough. Key thing for that trap pattern, when it traps and it doesn't close outside of this bar, starts going sideways. You could have got that scratch. But yeah, you don't get a scalp on that. And then it happens here. Well, and then here's a second entry short, but we're too sideways. I'd have to wait. And we're starting to move down pretty strongly. Multiple moves off this low, off the EMA. I'm starting to see something like this. Probably the lows off of here as well. So pulling back. That's where I took my first trade. I was just looking at this second entry short off this low at a downtrend. We had just broken above the trend channel, and it was going into that EMA, so that was a little aggressive. But I thought we had enough momentum that we'd probably push down. We don't, so I get stopped out one tick above my signal bar. In fact, this bar right here is a reversal pattern. So that was kind of more credence to maybe this isn't going to be a good sell. Once I saw that bar, my entry bar, once that closed, I was like, it's kind of a reversal pattern. So we kind of have this upward thing. I'm looking just for like a breakout higher. Maybe we'll keep going lower sort of thing. But it just pretty much goes straight down. And what I did here was like the higher low. Honestly, this is a bad trade. It's not a great signal bar. We're pretty close to these lows. It's just a really, really poor trade. I get the scalp though, but it's not good. Get the runner. I took another one here because this was the failed second entry long pattern. Same thing though. It's just not, there's not enough room to even scalp out before the lows. So it's just another bad trade. You know, you make money on this trade, then you take another bad trade and you lose money. So that one fails. If anything, this is probably a okay trade. This is like a second entry short. It's an inside bar though, so that makes me a little nervous. But we'll wait because we have kind of this breakout and a move to a new low. So let's just see what prices are doing. And then I went short anyway. It's funny. I went short right there. I got the scalp. And then I was trying to figure out what my runner's going to do. It doesn't actually break past my signal bar, which is this green bar, so that's okay. And then when it comes back down here, I just exited on these lows. So yeah, on this pullback, it never actually goes above where my signal bar was, but I should have had a tighter stop, probably 2 ticks above my signal, which would have stopped me out. But it's kind of undisciplined on this trade. That was the trend today. Just a lot of undisciplined trades. I mean, it was really bearish, so I was just trying to get short, but I took some bad shorts. I apologize. I'm a little off today. I just know there's like so much to talk about, so let me just stay focused. So we have this break, kind of 2 legs now moving lower. That's the lower high, but you're not supposed to be going short at the lows. I will break that rule again right here. But you know, just back to that whole like, hey, it's really bearish, so I should go short. Just not good, not good trading. So I got the scalp, and then on the runner, that's what I'm noticing is happening a lot is that I'll get the scalp on most contracts, but then the runner, um, I don't have a strong enough exit plan for that runner, and I end up taking heat on that. So, and this one was bad because I basically I took off the stop loss, just real poor trading. Um, Took my stop loss off. I only had one contract in the market, so this move, um, like monetarily, it's not really that big of a drawdown compared to just like a regular loss. So that kind of helped me hold it, but just not disciplined. So we're still holding. Really, what I'm waiting for is to see what we do when we get back up to these highs. So we're going to keep kind of heading lower or not. So I added on there 2 contracts. So I have 3 contracts in the market right now. And here's kind of my issue because in theory I should have been stopped out. But you know, if I'm adding on, it's unlikely that I'm going to follow the rules over here. That's my issue with doing this is that the very fact of me adding on right here means I'm not really following my rules. And if I am to get stopped out, why would I respect this stop if I didn't respect this stop, right? So it's kind of an issue. It's not even kind of, that is a really big issue. And once every, couple weeks or so, I might do something kind of dumb like this. Um, yeah, it's not good. Uh, we'll just leave it there. I had a different trend line as always, but a little bit more off these lows. See how like we're not really touching this low side anymore. So really, I think I'm starting to look for a different trend line. It's going to help me more. So probably off here, you get quite a few touches. And when you bring that to the top, it's not perfect, but you can see you kind of have the 3 touches there. I like that. So if you would have done that, you could have done it up here, but so then right here, we kind of get this big red bar. It's not really an entry or anything, but that's actually where I get my exit. And then I had a technical error there where because I had 3 contracts, when I sold 2 and then tried to sell the last one, my automatic strategy had the wrong amount of contracts to buy back. So I entered on accident on 1 contract and had to exit that 1 contract real fast. But just not. I mean, I made money. I made money the bad way, the sleazy way. Because this loss right here, that could have been about a like $500 drawdown, which not that bad. I mean, I would have given back some of my weekly profits, but it's not that bad. But the execution is poor, so yeah, I have to look over that this weekend. So now we're just looking for shorts. You can see that we clearly have a pretty nice channel now that's holding prices pretty well. So I'm going to try to respect it and go short when we get back to it. I'll let me put a midline in there too. Boom. Okay, so right here, we're looking like we're setting up for a second entry short, but this signal bar it's really a doji, so it's not really somewhere where we can go short. And you can see how prices respond. They just kind of like going sideways. Put a micro trend. Oh man, damn. Put a micro trend there. It's one of those days, guys. It's too confusing to read this. There's kind of a second entry short, but it's too close to the lows, all that. Yeah, we're good. So we have this kind of like this double top here, so that's what we're going to be using. That was the lower high. It's an okay setup. And then here's the failed second entry. so close to the lows like that. It's the same issue that I had back up in here. So I'm gonna have to skip it. Although, so two things though I'm thinking about for this place. It's really close to the current lows, but we do have an anticipated target down here. So there is room for like possibly a target down here, but we're just really close to the lows. So in this situation, you might be aggressive, but I'm just gonna wait. And that one ends up, I like how it's kind of respecting, it looks like it's breaking out, but I like how it's respecting that lower side channel. Then now we're getting a like a push higher, almost a channel overshoot. We'll see what that leads to. You got a second entry short right here, just not where we want to take the shorts, just because we overshot there. Really, we're expecting this to bounce and maybe reverse, so gotta wait. Really, we're trying to wait to up here to get short, so just gotta wait through all this. It's going sideways. You don't get stopped out, but it's just going sideways right now. You get stopped out right there, though. See how sideways that is? So now we're starting to push higher, but really what I'm seeing is this kind of like a range area. So it's just kind of like a breakout fade. Um, it's not technically a setup off the low or anything either. That's the only issue. So if you take that, you're being aggressive. I want to wait. Maybe I'll get a lower high, or maybe we're going to actually touch this channel and then turn down. Well, you get the lower high right there as it makes a new low, so I can't take that trade. Here's that kind of reversal pattern. Only reason I'm into this trade is because it's a breakout pullback and there's enough room to scalp before the low. So I think it's really aggressive, but we haven't, it's in fact, but we haven't had a trade in a while isn't a good enough reason to take a trade. But this is technically a setup. It's just aggressive. And you get the scalp, not much more. So you get what you get on that one. Below, above, made a new swing. So I'm just going to give a quick trend right there. Makes a new low, so we really don't even need it. So we're just hanging out on this lower half. Now that we're breaking out, there's can't really do anything with that. Pulls back quick. See how quickly that thing pulls back. We just need to make a new swing, which we get right there. You know, when we get this overshoot like this, it's so deliberate that sometimes there's like a another level. It's not the most perfect in terms of like equidistant, but you can see you could almost see that being an extension right there. Looks like it'd be more, I mean the real equidistant is like down there. You could have it like right there. That's fine. Let's play it like a channel overshoot and let's see what happens. So it overshot, so what we're trying to see is if it's going to respect this line or not. It doesn't quite get there, but it does get close. And if you look at this trend, we had a breakout, move to a new high. Now we're closing below that EMA. So it might be time to get short again. Looks like it couldn't get to the line. That's the lower high. We're going pretty sideways there though, off that midline. Aggressive, I'd say. It's very aggressive. But there's room to these lows, there's room to the channel, so you'll see. Nah, you get stopped because of the congestion area. That's the second entry short. The setup doesn't look as nice, but this will probably be the one that goes, of course. Here's the lower high, breakout pullback. Just kind of find support off there. Tries to break lower. When it breaks above, here's a reversal pattern off this low. There's a reversal right there. So we don't want to go long, but we want to put a line through there. See what happens. That thing sells right off. See how we get to that channel, sell right off? It's unfortunate we didn't get an entry off that. Look how this channel is like held. That's crazy. But we didn't get an entry off that, so let's see. Maybe we find the entry off here. Here's that lower high. It's a little sideways. Let's see if we can get one more pullback. See where it went lower, failed. This is an okay place. Pretty bearish. Second entry short, downtrend, off the channel. Let's see how that one does. Okay, well it never ticks below, so you wouldn't have been in. If this bar sets up, I'll probably use this bar. Same trade still applies. It's the first breakout though, so. And we had this channel overshoot. So a little aggressive. Once again, it doesn't break below. Once it doesn't break below that second time, I think I'm over that trade. I just have to wait, see what else is going to set up. Because at this point, we have a pretty strong move higher. Just kind of like how it's holding. Here's a higher low or a lower high. We still need a little bit more evidence to go short there though, because it's right into that EMA. We still have this trend. Once we get that reversal pattern, I feel better about going short. See what it failed. See, we're trying to make this retest to this high. And we do. Here's the lower high, but we're just kind of like going sideways, testing this area. So let's just wait. Here's a that reversal pattern that we're talking about. This is a trade that I like. It's probably the first one that I genuinely think is a good trade. It is sideways, but given the context of what we have, just to give you a better picture, we have this channel. We got that first breakout side. We're probably going to test these lows or try to test the lows. It's a good place. Now, what I hate is that when it broke below, then closed back inside, I'm probably going to scratch this trade if it comes back to my break even or break even plus one. So I would have probably scratched, and then it goes further without me. So just darn, right? That's just like the breakout pullback. At this point, I'm going to look at that and just kind of keep this channel contained. Got the pullback. Here's a second entry short. It's not a great setup because of this signal bar, but it's such a strong bear bar, and we have a lot of reasons to be looking for a short. Second entry to low. It's aggressive, so because it's so big, I think mainly it's so large, it makes it pretty aggressive in my book. But that's a trade you can look for right there. I'd also take that measured move. Looks like a good place to take one. First leg, maybe second leg. I would go straight to it. So, you don't know. It's kind of funny, it's like all this, there's nothing. That's almost 2 hours, really, of like, okay, no, there's a trade right in there. Hour and a half of like nothing, but then you get that massive move in like 5 minutes, Patience. Massive. No reason to exit yet. Probably looking to exit here soon. Here's a second entry short. A lot of sideways stuff, and we're not that close to the EMA, so I'm skipping that short, but there's a second entry short right there. It doesn't trigger. I'm not into it still, so I'm just gonna leave it alone. There you go, probably exiting there from this trade up here. Okay, so at this point, we're just kind of seeing, we're going sideways here. Let's see if it breaks out or keeps going lower. Kind of like a breakout pullback. It's not really a good line. Probably something more like that. Something like that. So you can see we're just kind of like moving along this channel. We're getting that breakout. It's actually a reversal pattern right here off this low, first entry. There's a reversal pattern right there. I don't know if I trust any longs today. Probably skip it. Yeah. But also, you know, key point, you got the reversal pattern, that bar broke above and it closed back inside. That means people didn't get trapped, so you would have been trying to exit a lot faster. It's moving lower. So now the issue is that I don't really have a good sort of trend for this area, so I'm just kind of trying to figure out where we're going to get that next one from. Got a nice bounce there. Something that I see when you look for that trend is that you can also look off the lows, and kind of cuts it in half if you go to these ones, but you can get them all, you can get the most if you go kind of off there. So I like that. I just don't see anything off the highs yet that I can use. So like up here, it doesn't even really fit that well in my opinion. So, but you can see clearly there's some support off those lows. What I'll do is let's just knock these down. Okay, so we knocked those down. Possibly there's a big channel because it's been a really big down day. So there might be a channel there. We just need more confirmation. But until then, we're below. Now we're above. Let's see if we break this swing. We're going to give it a trend. So we do break the swing. Just give it a trend. That's the higher low. See how sideways we are? It's not a good trade. And then this trade is like a this is a reversal pattern. It's a failed break lower. You know, it's kind of aggressive to go long given the type of day we're having. But at some point, it's not that we're overextended so much as we're coming off the lows. There's a reversal pattern. We might come up here. It's a setup. You get a little bit, not much. It's like I'm not catching. This is a nice, I mean, there's some nice trades. I think what today taught me though is just being patient. You know, it's like you always want to, like, when you zoom out, you kind of see how much it's moving and you think like, oh, I need to get these trades in here. But if you just look at my trend lines, if you wait for the trend line touches, that's where you get the best trades. So that's really what the goal is on these days, is when you've come off this trend and you're coming up now, it's like, just, I don't know, don't be too attached to those trades. Your best ones are yet to come. There's that lower high. In fact, if it's this trend, we had a breakout, move to a new high. So you get that lower high there. It's just back to what I'm saying though. It's just kind of in the middle of nowhere where that trade sets up. So that's not, even if I was to say there's a midline, which I don't even, looks like there's a midline. You can see how it's holding prices, see how prices are responding. So there's looks like there's a midline for sure. So we'll see if we do ever make it back up there. Here's that reversal pattern. There's not enough room to the lows. That's the only reason I'm skipping it. So it fails. It's kind of the re-entry thing going on right here. Because really what we have going on. Today's just a hard day to read. There's just so much price action. We got something like that going on. I don't know. This is aggressive. It's an inside bar. I'll skip it. Doesn't go far. Then this again, it's like since this ticked lower, it's just a first entry. It's a failed break higher. This isn't really a setup. Fails. Here's another lower high. This is a slightly better setup, but it's just not that great. Okay, so we got a, this is a reversal bar, reversal pattern right here. You might consider this reversal because it's off the EMA, pretty strong signal bar, enough room to the lows. It's aggressive because we just came off the lows though, but momentum is down. Maybe we're going to retest it. I don't even know how it does ultimately. So you get your scalp. Yeah, and you test those lows. So I mean that has the right context on it, even though it's pretty close to these lows. It's the right context to take that trade. Let's see. It's too close. Not enough room to scalp now, so we don't want to short any of this right now. Nothing. There's that lower high. Maybe a reversal here. Seeing it now, we're getting up past this midline, so the bulls are back in control. There's your reversal pattern. Not that close to the EMA. It's off this trend line pretty well. It's just another aggressive sort of long. At this point, what we're expecting is, we're going to test up here, and if this line exists, we're going to find out. So, that's what I see there. I can't really buy that anymore. That's not really what we're looking for. You almost get stopped out. I don't know if you get... Okay, yeah, you got the scalp, but you kind of have a second entry long right here. I think if you want to be aggressive, maybe. I have a hard time going long in this sort of market environment. That thing fails immediately. It's just a trade that fails. It's reasonable to take that trade. It just fails. And then, that re-entry pattern, right? It goes off. But it sells off eventually. Nothing through there. Higher lows, not really that great of a setup. Okay, so we had that macro trend, but it just kind of reversed really hard. So I'm seeing like a range kind of area, breaking out of the range. You can see right here, we're getting a nice pin bar right at our channel. We've had that channel up here since we made it down there. But that's just the first entry to the lows. Let's see if we get like a lower high, second entry. Like there. I like this setup. This is what we've been waiting for all day. What time is it? It's pretty close to noon. About 30 minutes, so I still got a little bit of time. But yeah, this is a setup that I like. It's a lower high. It's a second entry short. There's some room to the EMA. It's off this channel line. in what looks like to be a really, really bearish market. This is a really good setup. This is the first like real good setup I can recall. And then right here, you get that reversal pattern. It's closing below the EMA. Everything that I just talked about still applies. I'd probably add on, because in this situation, you probably got the scalp. Yeah, so you would have scalped out, and you just have a runner. And then now you probably add on another 2 contracts. So you have 3 contracts going from there. Yeah, solid trade. Wouldn't have added on there. It looks nice, but it's not really a setup. Probably have it like that. That was a pretty good trade. These 2 right there. About 10 minutes left in the day. You see this second entry. See, like this is a second entry short off this low with all this congestion. It broke out. It's not the perfect signal bar, so we can make it green. It's not a perfect signal bar. But we're expecting prices to come test these lows, maybe come to the lows of the day again. So that's cool. Doesn't go far. Getting a lot of stack up, but then there's another second entry right in here, kind of this inside bar. It's going to be aggressive if you're in. I'd also be interested in that. If I didn't take this trade, I'd probably be interested in this trade. Second entry short. These lows become one low, so it's just first entry, pull back, second. Well, the second entry actually is here. So it's more of a reversal pattern. Off this high, went lower once, fails, went lower twice, and if it breaks below right there, it's a failure. It's a pretty decent trade. You get another entry right here, but it's a little bit, it's too sideways. And it's noon, so I'd be done. But it's too sideways. You're just selling the breakout pretty much. But kind of an entry right there even. Reversal pattern. But this one is better. This is more like a real reversal breakout pullback. So I don't know. It's getting really volatile. It's a really big bar. I would just skip it. But I like this trade. Yeah, you would have made some money on that. But anyway, that's what I saw today. Just a lot of downtrends. It was not that bad to get my channels. I didn't find that many entries today, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of came to the charts today a little tired, so I know this wasn't my best review, but you know, if anything, what I want to do is be fair. You know, I don't want to pretend that there are trades that there are not just because there's a big down day or something. Like I really try to wait for setups that make sense to me. Like this one, I know you might have been aggressive because of the breakout, but a lot of those trades, you know, like you can only see that it looked good after the time. Like this trade right here, you would think, okay, that's a reversal pattern. It's not even technically a reversal. So this is the reversal. But even this trade, you know, it looks good now, but does it still look good? You know, that doesn't look the same. So I don't know. The trades that worked. I do think I got trapped a little more than usual today. Other than, I wish sometimes I keep them on so I can see where I got trapped. Sometimes these days it is a little easy to get trapped. You just get like, because there's like a second entry long right there, but you shouldn't be thinking about going long. It's going side. Oh yeah, I think that might have been a trap as well. That was the lower high trap. Yeah, sideways. You know, that's the only thing. Pretty obvious it's sideways, right? Once this bar forms, it's not perfect congestion zone, but it's pretty obvious going short at those lows. You could be aggressive and take it. Sometimes it works, but not this time. Just to set it up again, it's like a second entry short. Like this is probably a trade I missed because, you know, like this is a second entry short. The setup isn't that great, but it triggered with a strong trigger bar. So if you're being really aggressive, you can go short there. trying to test these lows, but it's sideways as well. So that's, there are reasons to not take it, so I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. That's what I saw, though. I'm not going to beat around the bush too much more with all that. Lots of price action today. I actually made good money, just did it really bad. But yeah, the goal is to just be more disciplined and take 1, 2 of these trades. Any of these couple trades could have been all you need for the day. So, pretty good week. I'm gonna get prepped up for another one. So until Monday, Kamal Hart.